we're back to do a little NFL
Football.
football. We are deep into the season now. We have to recap already
Week 5.
week 5, and then do a little preview, a little picks for
Week 6.
picks for 6. We got to do a little picks for 6 this time. But first of all, we'll do a little recap last week. We had some surprising games. This year's been a really surprise. It's up and down one week, next week, but
Oh, yeah.
there's a few consistent teams in it. But for our first surprise, last Thursday night, the Rams went to the Seahawks
And laid an egg.
and laid an egg out there. Yeah.
They're falling behind right now.
Believe it or not, the Rams are third in their division.
And one of the other teams ahead of the Seahawks we'll talk about later.
Yeah, but the Rams went into Seattle, lost 30-29. They had all kinds of chances to win it. They just couldn't pull it together.
Couldn't pull it together. Now they're stuck with questions that weren't there last year.
Yep, definitely. This definitely Rams definitely don't look like the same team as last year.
Well, Russell Wilson has yet to throw an interception and has 12 touchdowns on the season.
They used Gurley better. The Rams used Gurley more and used Gurley better. That looked better, but it just still wasn't
enough.
wasn't enough. We'll see how they do the rest of the year. Moving on into Sunday, we had the Titans are up 1 week, down 1 week, up 1 week, down. The Bills are for real though. The Bills seem like a decent team.
The defense in particular only surrendered 7 points.
Yep, Buffalo beat Tennessee 14-7 in Tennessee.
So could we count the Bills as a for real team this year?
I don't know. They stunk up the joint against the Patriots. Of course, everybody.
That's because that's the Patriots.
yeah.
So I won't take it against you if you lose to New England.
No, it'll be we'll take a few more weeks. Like I said, this season's a roller coaster. It's really hard to pick.
But a
who's
solid
gonna win, who's
start,
gonna
4-1.
Yeah, we had Tampa Bay going to New Orleans. Well, Teddy Bridgewater
Has his best game as a Saint.
He's keeping the boat floating, waiting on the Captain Breeze to get back on there. So you got to get it. I mean, they won 31-24.
And Tampa Bay, even with an experienced coach like Bruce Arians, still doesn't look that good.
Again, I think Arians is getting the best out of his quarterback that he can.
Yes.
But sometimes he just throws some picks.
He's the turnover making machine. You know those little desserts that you make?
Eating that W. That still drives me crazy. Eating that W. We had Baltimore go into Pittsburgh and go into overtime.
And lost.
Baltimore still won. We sort of figured Baltimore would. Pittsburgh is just derailed with injuries and players that have flown the nest.
Specifically, one bad injury that happened during the game. Mason Rudolph just gets clogged.
He got knocked out cold, dude. Hitting the jaw and just out cold. So, yeah. That's just
prayers
injury
for him. I mean,
injury after injury after injury, and then
the season's derailed, pretty much.
It's definitely been derailed, yeah.
But Lamar Jackson's had a very lackluster day.
He's had a roller coaster year too. I mean, he started
3 interceptions.
He started out on a
Steelers.
high, and then he's been. They were really lucky to win that game against Pittsburgh, to be honest, with all the turnovers they had.
Yes.
We had Jacksonville go into Carolina
And lose.
How about those Carolina Panthers?
Kyle Allen.
The backup quarterback there is doing some work too. I mean, when you score 34 points, it doesn't
Still
matter.
need to fix the fumble problem.
He does stick the ball out a little bit too much, but still though, you scored
The
34
defense made
points.
a big play, and Christian McCaffrey went absolutely bonkers.
I saw a good stat today, and we haven't got into this team yet. Sorry, Big Al, but Christian McCaffrey has more yards than the entire Jets team.
Oh boy.
One person. I mean, that's just saying how many yards Christian McCaffrey's got. He's probably got more yards than Miami and Washington too. And he is a machine this year. He is unstoppable. So he's definitely something. We had Green Bay go into my Dallas. Man, Dallas ain't looking too good. They started out 3-0 and hot, and then just
Floundered a bit.
Floundering a little bit. They gave up 24 points just like that. Threw 2 picks. They were down 24-0.
And to be honest, the Packers have definitely looked like a legitimately good team.
The Packers look strange. They got a good defense.
And they got Aaron Rodgers. That's a lethal combination.
And they got a decent running game. Ain't the Packers. The
Packers.
Packers don't have a defense and a good running game. They depend on Aaron Rodgers to do everything. This doesn't look like the Packers. They're actually a team.
They're actually a team.
They're a team. This isn't the Packers.
But 4-1, that's a really good start for the
If
Packers.
the Packers do find their offense with this new coach,
They'll be a Super Bowl contender.
they're going to be dangerous.
But there's one problem with it. Still throwing the ball at the 2-yard line, I see.
What's wrong with NFL football now? How can you get down to the 2-yard line, 1 yard out, and not run the ball?
It's just crazy.
If you can't take your offensive lineman, throw an extra lineman in, throw a fullback in, throw somebody in, and a running back, and run for 2 yards out of 3 tries, you're not much of an NFL team to me. I'm sorry.
But if they do correct the problem, then I don't really see many issues here.
No, they need somebody just to call a run play from the 1 yard line.
Matt LaFleur.
We had Arizona go to Cincinnati. Nah, Arizona won. I mean,
First win for quarterback Kyler Murray.
and
And
Cincinnati
Cliff
loses
Kingsbury.
in. Breaking news: Cincinnati lost again.
In other news, grass is green.
Grass is green. Yeah.
They're 0-5 and they're looking terrible.
We had Chicago go to Oakland. They were actually in London, but Oakland was called the home team, and that was a good win for Oakland. Oakland won
That
out
was
24.
a very impressive, especially considering who they were going up against.
Everybody was picking Khalil Mack to go in there and just rip them a new one, and
The Raiders showed they had guts.
The Raiders showed they had a little something to do there. That was actually pretty good. We had Minnesota go to the Giants, and they beat the crap out of them. We pretty much figured that 28-10.
Well, Daniel Jones showing that he's a rookie quarterback pretty much.
Yeah.
And Kirk Cousins, I've just been on the fence with him. Basically, I've
Been
just
on the
thought of-
fence.
Been on the
Kirk
fence.
Cousins couldn't throw his way out of a trash can. He can throw his way out of a trash can in Washington.
oh,
Why can't
hold up, hold
Wait
up.
a minute. They're in a dumpster. Maybe he can throw his way out of a dumpster fire because that's what the team is.
You didn't let me finish
Go
there.
ahead.
I was on the fence between bad and awful.
It's bawful. It's bad awful. But I've never been a Kirk Cousins fan. He's wishy-washy to me. We had the Jets go to Philadelphia. The Jets are just decimated. They're decimated.
They're decimated.
Yeah.
Their offense just
Well, what a third?
unbelievably
When
bad.
all of your starters are third stringers. I mean,
And their quarterback's been out with a really bad sickness.
if it wasn't for Le'Veon Bell, they wouldn't
really
have an offense.
They wouldn't really have much offensive production.
No. We had New England go to Washington and beat them 33-7. We pretty much saw that too.
And that was the end of the Jay Gruden era.
Yes. Out goes the Gruden, and in goes the.
I don't know
who
who's
they're gonna
stepping
have.
in.
No. I think it's
Basically,
an
one
interim.
inside interim staff,
Yeah.
But the Redskins are 0-5, staring at a draft pick right now.
Yeah. Which it may not be too bad for them.
And one issue I've got with New England's schedule, it's too easy. It's been too easy. So
Now, that was a tough road game. They play a lot of tough road games like Washington.
They played a good game.
They
against
don't
Washington.
play. New England doesn't play
They
tough
played
road
at
games.
Miami.
They don't play tough road games. All the road games are easy. They might have one tough road game a year. The rest of them are at home. We had Atlanta go to Houston. That was a barn burner. 53. I mean, Watson. What he threw?
Tore
5
up the
touchdowns.
house.
5 touchdowns. My goodness, he just.
That's what happens when you protect him, Houston.
That's what happens when you play Atlanta's pass defense. They're horrible, dude.
They're awful.
Atlanta's pass defense is horrible.
Speaking of Atlanta, they're not the only Atlanta team to get brutally murdered this week.
No, yeah. We won't talk about that right now, though. We had Denver go to the LA Chargers. Denver's an up and down, too. The Chargers are
They just
surprising
lost
me. but-
Bradley Chubb
Yeah.
for the season, and you thought that this could only go down from here.
The
but
Chargers are disappointing me.
disappointing. That's the ultimate question. After a 13-3 year last year,
They're disappointing this year.
yeah, that's just disappointment.
Speaking of disappointment, Indy went to Kansas City
and
manhandled them.
on the line of scrimmage and on the defensive
Kansas
side,
City looked like the Miami Dolphins, dude. The Colts went in there and manhandled them, outcoached them, outplayed them. Period. Jacoby Brissett was better than Mahomes. They outplayed them on every step of the game. That was one of the most disappointing efforts that I have seen this year. Of course, Mahomes did get his ankle broke like 2 times, but
Jacoby Brissett, where are you on him? Being the
I don't
future of
know.
Indianapolis.
he's not too bad. He looks pretty decent. Now, he's not played that much. He's only played 5 games.
But with Frank Reich being in there, he transformed Andrew Luck last year back into his old self, which we only got to see one year of.
Frank Reich is the next NFL quarterback. You remember he played for the Bills.
He was the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl team.
Yeah, so Frank Reich can do some work, but again, once he's been in the season, in the game longer, defenses may be able to find a way to play him better. But right now he's looking pretty good.
If Brissett continues to improve, then we could see a new future franchise quarterback.
We could, yeah. And then on Monday night we had Cleveland went to San Francisco, and San Francisco spanked them like a little baby.
That was the ultimate definition of wetting the bed.
Yeah. Now, see, there's something wrong with the Cleveland Browns, too. Like last year, Mayfield was 75% completions inside the 20 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He's already threw 2 interceptions, and he's only completing 25% after adding Odell Beckham.
There's something up with the coaches. You may need to either fire the coaches or mix them up.
I don't know. I think Freddie Kitchens was offensive coordinator, and he
went up to head coach.
He went up to head coach.
He just doesn't seem like he has the head coach.
Something is not right there, because Freddie Kitchens is still calling the plays, but the plays look horrible.
Yeah,
and that's after adding one of the best catchers in the league. What, you don't know what?
I just don't really.
There's something rotten there in Cleveland, because Cleveland is
very talented.
Very talented. They got some of the best wide receivers in the game. They got one of the best running backs in the game. They got a good, solid defense, one of the best defensive players in the game, and they look horrible.
That has to be coaching, though. That has to be.
I think that's coaching.
San Francisco, on the other hand,
is leading the division with the Seattle second and the Rams third. Right now, the Rams would not make the playoffs.
Who would have thought that at the beginning of the season? But that defense in particular looks stout.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Garoppolo, well, he's kind of like Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah. I thought that was something funny. Jacoby Brissett is he's a Tom Brady's backup.
And Jimmy
Jimmy Garoppolo as a backup.
Backup from New England.
I actually saw, me, I think Belichick is the genius behind the Patriots. It's no secret that's what I think. I think if they didn't have Belichick,
they would not be anywhere near.
They wouldn't be that good of a team. I actually think that Bill Belichick traded Brissett to the Colts 2 years ago, knowing that 2 years in the future he could beat the Chiefs and make them first place in the AFC. I think that's how good Belichick is sometimes.
He is a time-traveling wizard.
He is. I think he is, yeah. Okay. All right, that's all of week 5. Let's do some week 6 picks. We got New England on Thursday hosting the Giants.
Oh, that brings back so many memories.
The helmet catch. That was one of my favorite things. But
18-1.
New England's going to be, this is a 2-touchdown game. New England's going to 18-1.
What's happened the last time it was a 2-touchdown game?
We can only hope, but that pretty much ain't going to happen. Now let's jump into Sunday. We got Carolina going to Tampa Bay. Picking Carolina there. I think it's going to be about a 3-point game.
It's the London game at 9:30 in the morning.
9:30 a.m. in the morning. Tampa Bay's supposed to be the home team, but they're not the home team because they're in London. I think I think Carolina will out-talent them. Carolina's defense is actually for real this year. And McCaffrey's going to get 400 yards. That's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah, McCaffrey is probably an MVP candidate.
I think he is. We got Seattle going to Cleveland.
May not. Well, from what I've seen in terms of coaching, I think Seattle has the edge.
Seattle does have the. I'm pulling for Cleveland. I want to see Cleveland do good. They've sucked for so long. I'm pulling for Cleveland, but my brain says Seattle. My heart says Cleveland. Pick one of them.
Yeah.
We got New Orleans going to Jacksonville. Jacksonville's actually a favorite in this game.
Against the Saints.
Only by 1 point, but I know I'm picking the Saints. I'm not
picking against. Sean Payton is a good coach.
Yeah.
And he's put Teddy Bridgewater in a good position.
Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna go with New Orleans there. Thomas is too good, and Kamara's too good.
Kamara's like a workhorse.
He's
and
a workhorse, and Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas got the 3rd most yards in the NFL.
Right?
And so, I'm gonna pick me some New Orleans on that one. We got Tennessee going to Denver. Denver's favored by 2.5. That's a tough one right there. That's a tough one.
You want to pick the Titans?
I
think they have more talent now.
I'll pick the Titans. Yeah, I think the quarterbacks are about even. Flacco and Mariota, both of them are playing about on the same level, to be honest. But Tennessee's got the better running back
and the defense, and a healthier defense.
Mm-hmm. We got Dallas going to the Jets. I'm going to pick Dallas again, and not just because I like the Dallas there, just because the Jets are decimated with injuries. If Dallas doesn't win this one, then Dallas has got some serious problems. You know.
Yes.
We got Pitt going to the Chargers. Pittsburgh probably going to pick the Chargers in that one too. Even though the Chargers have been floundering, I don't think the Chargers lose back-to-back games at home.
Nah, I think Pittsburgh's gonna try to go down in try to go up in the draft and try to build, and maybe some free agent pieces may want to go to Pittsburgh. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's the Chargers by right around 7. We got Houston going to Kansas City. Probably the game of the week. That's going to be a really good game.
Because of if the Chiefs' defense looked as bad as they did on Sunday night, then
and Watson looks as good as he did,
there could be a shot of Houston getting a win.
But I'm going to pick Kansas City. Kansas City got a punch to the gut. Kansas City's at home again. Kansas City again's not going to lose 2 in a row at home.
No, especially with quarterback Patrick Mahomes.
Not after getting punched in the gut. How do you think practice went this week after losing that game to Indy?
They're probably a bit hard.
They're going to practice a little bit better this week. Maybe get it a little more seriously, maybe. We got Washington going to Miami. Oh, my goodness. Why do we have to watch this
game?
Why?
It's a tank bowl.
0-5 Washington against 0-4 Miami. I mean,
winless battle.
One of those two is probably going to get the number 1 draft pick, so they're going to try to lose in this game. It's going to be ugly. I mean, you don't want to win this game if you're tanking.
No.
Because whoever wins this game probably ain't going to get the first pick.
It's just absurd how they even scheduled this.
Washington's favored by 3.5 in Miami. That's how bad Miami is. Miami is at home, and they're playing a winless Washington team, and the winless Washington team on the road is still picked to win by 3.5 points. That's bad. That's really bad. I'm not gonna pick. We're all losers on that game. I got Philly at Minnesota. That's gonna be that'll be a good game.
Philly's got a ton of injuries on the wide receiver position, and
Kirk
Cousins is Kirk Cousins.
But Cook's Cook. I mean, he may be he's one of the top 3 running backs in the league right now, and I think he'll probably run all over him. I'm gonna probably pick Minnesota. Not a high, maybe 3 or 4 points is when I'll pick Minnesota. We got Cincy going to Baltimore.
That's going to be a Baltimore win.
Yeah, it's a 10-plus point win there.
0-6 stares you in the face, Cincy.
Yeah. Again, they might be going for the number 1 pick. We got a 0-6 and we got a 0-5 and a 0-5 and a 0-4, and 2 of those are going to be 0-6, 0-5 after this. That's bad. Can you have 2 undefeated teams in one season? What would that be like? That's horrible. We got San Francisco at the Rams.
That could be the tale of what the Rams are and what the 49ers could be.
If the Rams lose this,
they're in trouble.
Think about that.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a big game for them.
They will be 6 games into the season and be 3-3 if they lose.
3-3. They're going to have to rip off a lot of wins in the future if they lost this game.
If they even want to make the playoffs, they're going to have to rip off some wins. And this is a division. So they'll be 3 games back in the division because the 49ers will be undefeated, and they'll have 3 losses. This is a huge game.
Even with Sean McVay and Wade Phillips, they're staring possibly at the 500.
I think they screwed up. They wore out Gurley last year. Everybody knows they rode him like a horse, and they wore him out. And this year they tried to tweak their offense and not burn out all the players. And in doing so, they suck. We need to fix this. I don't know. Probably going to pick the. I don't know what you want to say.
You want to pick the Rams?
I'm gonna pick the Rams. I gotta say that there's something down inside there. That's
something.
Yeah. But it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be 3 points or less. We got Atlanta at Arizona. Stink Bowl Part 2 there.
Atlanta at Arizona. You know what, Dad? Hit the drum roll. The one I will pick is Arizona.
Yeah, because Atlanta's Atlanta. And then Monday Night Football is going to actually be a pretty good one. We've had some stinkers. We got Detroit at Green Bay.
That's a classic little matchup there.
I think that's a classic. I'm gonna pick Green Bay because I never pick against another team that can't out quarterback Aaron Rodgers, and nobody's gonna.
Unless it's Drew Brees.
Drew Brees can out quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Mahomes would have a good shot at because it's just a dynamo team. I thought the Cowboys had a shot until Dak threw 2 picks in the first 32 seconds.
Oof.
But yeah, we're gonna pick Green Bay, and that's it. That is it. That is all the football for the NFL this week. We hope you had some fun with us.
Send us a thought down below.
Let you know what you think. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe, a comment.
Hit the groovy BB button.
Share us with your friends.
Spread the love.
And hit the groovy BB button. Other than that, we're going for NFL this week.
See you next week.